What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. In this video, I wanted to give my recap on the Carolina Panthers 2019 draft. Now, I'm a bit late on this video. The end of the draft was on Sunday, but you know I had the the Avengers and all that stuff. Also, I wanted to look at game footage of some of these guys that they drafted. So of course you had to wait till after the draft, and a lot of different things going on. But I looked at plenty of game footage, I think, for each one of these guys, and kind of have an idea of the way these guys produced in college, and hopefully how that translates to the NFL level. Starting with the 16th pick, the Carolina Panthers select Brian Burns, edge rusher out of Florida State. Now this is an obvious need, amongst, of course, offensive linemen. Those are the two biggest needs. Other needs are like linebacker depth, safety is a big need, backup running back. Some would say receiver, cornerback. But I think often, without question, looking at the games last year and just seeing where the team struggled at, defensive line, offensive line were the two most important things. Specifically edge rushers, when we're referring to the defensive line, being able to guys who can get pressure on the quarterback. And Brian Burns, who's a guy who he can play in the 4-3, he can play in the 34 defense. And looking at him in Florida State, he was pretty good. He's a guy coming in. He did put on some weight, some muscles, to because that was one common concern that you saw people talk about. I saw him in a lot of people's mock draft as that being the guy that the Panthers take. The biggest thing is, with this pick, a lot of people are going to say the what if. Montez Sweat was still available at this pick. Obviously, he has a heart condition. We'll see how that comes into play as his career goes on. But he was getting comparisons to Julius Peppers. That's kind of why people thought he was going to go to the Panthers. But he kind of fell down. He kind of fell down on the draft. Not out of the first round, but where they originally had him at, some people had him a top 10 pick before the heart condition thing came into play. But Brian Burns, great pick. Fits an obvious need on that defense, being able to get pressure on the quarterback. That's what the Panthers need. They were bottom 10 in terms of sacks. Julius Peppers retired. He was old. And just the guys they put in there just weren't able to get pressure. So they're starting to address that with this pick. With the 37th overall pick, the Panthers select Greg Little. They actually traded up for this pick. They traded Seattle. They went up 10 picks from the 47th to 37th. Looking at game tape, he has all the physical tools, and I think that's a big reason why they wanted to draft him. My question is, he probably would have been available at that 47th pick. He has all the physical tools. He's a big dude. He's athletic for his size. The biggest problem with him, watching game tape and then seeing people talk about him, is he hasn't finished plays. He doesn't have that mean streak that an offensive lineman should have. When you're finishing plays, you pancake a guy. You didn't really see that from him. You saw kind of plays where he took plays off, lack of effort and stuff like that. Hopefully, and unfortunately, when you're like that, when people see kind of the plays, lack of effort, you don't have that mean streak, you get the label of being soft. And that's one thing you do not want to have as an offensive lineman. So I think he's kind of a project. Hopefully he turns out to be good. I mean, Taylor Moton that they got in 2017, he turned out to be good. I think he had a solid season last year for the Panthers. Greg Little is obviously left tackle that the Panthers need. They need left tackle. They need a left guard. To really, you can see they really, with these first two picks, they really tried to address the two biggest needs. And I can't talk bad about them for trying to improve those two needs, because that's what the Panthers got destroyed in the trenches. You watch all last season, Panthers got destroyed in the trenches, not able to get pressure, not able to protect Cam. That was a big reason why he had to deal with the shoulder injury, why any other backup quarterback that they lost. Remember, 3 quarterbacks got injured behind this last year's line. So there had to be some changes made. So, man, I think Greg Little, he's a pick that could turn out to be good for the Panthers. It's just we'll have to wait and see how he develops. With the 100th pick, which is third round, the Panthers select quarterback Will Grier out of West Virginia. And by the way, Greg Little's from Ole Miss. Sorry if I didn't say that. But Will Grier out of West Virginia. I don't know about this pick. I thought Ryan Finley was still on the board. He didn't get drafted to the 4th round. He was a better quarterback in my opinion, just from looking at him play. He was a more accurate thrower. Will Grier has a really weird throwing motion. Definitely not as accurate as Finley. But how they looking at it is we're trying to, he's being brought up as a backup, obviously, just because the other backups just weren't good. Didn't help that the offensive line wasn't good and those guys ended up getting hurt behind it. But I don't know about this pick, especially, like I said, with Finley still being there. I don't know about taking a quarterback at all. I get what they're trying to do, just in case something does happen to Cam or, because he has been dealing with injuries. Or maybe if he does pan out, he's using a trade bait later on. I'm not sure. But clearly they want to get him as the backup. Like I said, Ryan Finley was still on the board. I still think they should have went somewhere else. Maybe a safety. You could have got a good safety in the third round. Justice Hill, running back. I think out of Oklahoma State. Let me make sure of that. Yeah, running back. Yeah, out of Oklahoma State. He was considered one of the best running back prospects. And the Panthers, I think, they really looking for another running back. You get a guy if they could have got a guy like that in the 3rd round, that's a steal. A lot of people thought he was going to go in the 2nd round, just based on the way he produced in college. So I think that would have been like I said, a running back in the 3rd or a safety, a corner. I think that's where they probably should have went instead of a quarterback. Maybe you could have. Maybe they could have got a veteran quarterback to back up Cam, and then draft the position that they really need, and like some of the ones I just named. So I don't know about that Will Grier pick. Next pick with the 115th overall pick, the Panthers select Christian Miller, edge rusher out of Alabama. Yet again, another team need. And looking at him on tape, I think this is a good value pick. Based on him going in the 4th round. A big concern that people had with him was health, and seeing him play. He played in Alabama, so he was facing quality offensive linemen. He produced. He was able to get after the quarterback. He was able to get pressure on the quarterback. So if he can stay healthy, I think he could be a really good rotational guy for the Panthers. A guy they can bring in, go after the quarterback, and like I said, this is something the Panthers need. So I like this pick. Just for it addresses along with getting Brian Burns, it addresses one of the biggest team needs. With the 154th overall pick, Carolina Panthers select Jordan Scarlett, running back out of Florida. I don't like this pick. Like I said, Justice Hill was available early on. You probably could have got this guy undrafted. Looking at him on tape, not very fast. And I get the reason why. He's more of a power back. He's going to get you short yardage, and they want to kind of use him as that instead of using McCaffrey in those situations. But you probably could have got a better overall running back, probably undrafted. So this pick, I would say probably could have went to safety. Deontay Thomas was a guy that I saw, looking at going back and look at some of the Alabama games. The dude can play. A big reason why he fell to the 5th round, because I believe he was selected after Jordan Scarlett, if I remember correctly. The big reason why he fell in the draft is because of knee problems. But if it's the 5th round. If he pans out, that's a steal. If he pans out for a couple of years, that's a steal. Because the way you saw him play in college, he was all over the field for the Alabama defense. So I don't know. I think they should have went probably with him with that fifth pick, with that 5th round pick. So yeah, Jordan Scarlett, that's easily probably the worst pick the Panthers had. Probably a guy who won't even make the team. Who knows? We'll have to see. With the 212th pick, this is the 6th round. The Panthers select Dennis Daly, tackle out of South Carolina. I like this pick. I watched game footage. Specifically, the game that comes into mind the most was the game against Clemson, where he had to block Clelin Farrell. And I thought he did a good job against him. We're talking, he's a guy. He's not as athletic as Greg Little, but you don't see him really take plays off. At least from what I saw, I didn't see every game for him, but you don't see him taking plays off. And he's a guy that he normally played left tackle, but South Carolina moved him into left guard, so he's versatile enough to play, both. He's versatile enough to play outside and inside on the offensive line, which is going to be huge. Teams always want to look for versatile offensive linemen. You can get one in the 6th round that has had some success at that level, playing against quality talent. Clemson's a big school. You look at Clelin Farrell was a top 10 pick. And with the 237 pick, which is the last pick for the Panthers, they get Terry Godwin, wide receiver out of Georgia. His other teammate, I believe, Riley Ridley, went before him. But Terry Godwin, I think, is more so going to be, they're going to have him covering punts. He's going to be a special teams guy. He's going to be a return man. It's the last pick of the draft. You can't really be mad at that, especially if he comes in as a return man and actually does does solid. You can say that's a steal. But for the most part, seeing him, will he hit the field at any point? I honestly don't think so. I honestly don't think he'll hit the field in terms of getting reps with the offense. I really don't see that happening. But overall, I think I will give them B minus, somewhere around there. Like I said, wasn't a big fan of the Will Grier pick. Wasn't a fan of the Jordan Scarlett pick, especially when I think there were better guys. There was better talent at positions. At positions, I think, of need, where you could have got a guy who probably would have come in there and produced day one. But there's still some undrafted guys. I think they got a few undrafted guys. I had their names here. I go over them really quick. Running back Elijah Holyfield is the son of Evander Holyfield out of Georgia, so another Georgia guy. I don't know about him. Not very fast. Another guy who could be a power back. Who knows if he makes the team though? Safety Corian Ballard. Let me see, what school did he go to? It does not tell me. Well, he played in the Pac-12. Safety, he's a big guy. I don't know. I didn't really look at game footage. I only looked at the guys that were drafted because by the time they talked about the undrafted, I had already looked at footage. Next guy they got Damian Jean-Pierre Jr. He's out of Nicholas State. Probably a guy that won't make the team. Who knows? And last guy they got that was undrafted, Jordan Kanatsky. Hopefully I said that right. He went to Cal. I actually looked at game footage of him. I remember someone talking about on Twitter, one of the Panther fans that I follow on Twitter. I looked at him. Saw him on tape. Not fast. He's not good in coverage, and you're gonna get chewed up in the NFL now if you can't cover as a linebacker. So I don't know. Maybe he's a special teams guy. I just don't see him hitting the field because he's not fast. But anyways, that does it for the 2019 draft. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.